wish that you could listen to the voice of a loved one that's passed on? Your grandmother, your mom, your dad, your auntie, your mom, even your sisters and brothers. Well, April is that type of month for me. It's actually the birthday of my grandmom, who passed away at the age of 98 in 2009. She lived a long and beautiful life. But it's also the month of the birth of my sister, Gloria, April 10th. She would have been 60 years old had she not died in a tragic car accident in 1992 at the age of 29. Podcasting, social media, the internet, it wasn't around then, but it is today. And today I want to talk about podcasts being a perfect platform for families, whether they're blood or not. Hello and welcome to the Delaware Blogger Podcast. I'm your host, Antoinette Blake, the DE Diva, aka the Delaware Blogger. And every week I'm coming to you with podcasting pointers that we're going to help you share your mission and your vision by just using your voice. And today's episode number 333. That's right, 333. That is actually my favorite number. Every time I look up at the clock, it's always 333 at that exact time. Does that happen to you? I need to know what that is all about. But today I want to ask you, are you looking for a way to stay connected with your family, especially during these uncertain times? And if you are, podcasts are a perfect solution. Podcasts, they're free. With the free conferencing platforms, it allows you to connect with family members from anywhere in the world, just using Zoom or StreamYard. With a podcast, you can create a virtual family room, a game room where you can chat and share stories or even play games together. That is just the power of social media today. When I was growing up, it was old school. Sunday was fun day, and we had to sit around the dining room table and look at each other, But now the best part is that podcasting is here for us. It's perfect for families. It's easy to use, and all you have to do is create that account. And, I always say if you want to start free, my favorite F word, you get an account on Anchor. You send an invite, a Zoom invite to your family members. And when you're ready, you just go. You record using Zoom. You customize that virtual background. You could be wherever you want to be. It could be old school. It could be on the moon. It could be so many different backgrounds and themes based on the personalities of your guests. Podcasting also offers a variety of features that makes it perfect for families. You can share photos and videos, documents, we can see things from the past, the Bibles, family members. You can actually play games together like spades. My sorority sisters and I had a retreat over the weekend down in Bethany Beach, and we have a lot of great pictures of them playing spades. But had this been a recorded video with, the voices and the expressions, it would be phenomenal. You can also use a podcast to host a virtual family reunion, a birthday party, or any other special events. Yes, we're coming out post-pandemic, but there's some older elders that may not be able to get out and travel. So this would be a great venue, a great medium for families. Podcasting is just a great way to stay connected with your family during difficult times, during good times. Zoom is easy. It's an easy learning curve that you can help set your family up if they don't know how to use it. It's a perfect solution for families who want to stay connected. And you know what? Why not give it a try today?
Are you ready to join the billion-dollar podcasting industry? If so, Blake's Booth Podcasting Studio is ready for you. Whether you're just starting out and have no equipment, or you're a seasoned pro but need help with production, Blake's Booth Podcasting Studio has everything you need. Conveniently located in Middletown, Delaware, Blake's state-of-the-art production facilities make producing your first or 100th podcast a breeze. No matter what kind of project you have in mind, the professionals at Blake's Booth Podcasting Studio can help with your production or give you the tools to produce it on your own. At the heart of Blake's Booth Podcasting Studio is award-winning blogger, vlogger, and CEO Antoinette Blake, and her goal is simple: to help one more entrepreneur be successful. So stop making excuses and start making your podcast, audiobook, e-course, and other online dreams come true. Call Blake's Booth Podcasting Studio now. 302-261-3530. That's 302-261-3530.
So, if you're looking to start a family podcast, which is a great way to share stories, experiences, sharing advice to your family, your friends, whether you're looking to start a podcast to stay connected with your family or to share family stories with the world, I'm going to give you a few steps on how to get started. Number 1, choose a topic, right? Last time we talked about narrowing the niche, but with a family, you can choose a topic each week. It could be something different. The first step to starting a family podcast is to decide on a topic for that particular episode. Think about what your family is passionate about or what stories they want to share. It could be a podcast about the family's history, a podcast about parenting tips. It could be a podcast about your family's favorite recipes, right? And once you've chosen a topic for that particular episode, you start to plan it out. Like my husband and I, I'm going to tell him, shh, be quiet. I'm going to plan a podcast and a book on things our sons need to know upon our death when it comes to home ownership. Now, that's not morbid because there's a lot that goes into running a household. And although the many men are here and they see it, they don't really understand. So imagine having a guidebook specific to this house. I mean, you can Google and go to YouTube and all that, but I want something that they can go to that pertains to the home that's eventually going to be their own. The second thing you need to do is get your equipment. Once you've chosen your topic, you're going to need to have the necessary equipment to record your podcast. Now, you can come from a laptop, but really just that microphone and a computer. You can have free recording software. Audacity is what I use for this. GarageBand. You can do Zoom and you can, those are all free platforms. Find something that is affordable, whether it's online or even at your local electronics store. Guess what? I have some information in my Podcasting Your Purpose resource guide. I'm going to leave the link to that resource guide. So if you want to make a purchase, just click that link and it's got all the information that you need. So, don't go out and spend a whole bunch of money. If you're doing Zoom, you just have that laptop, right? Of course, you have to have, Wi-Fi connectivity, but other than that, you're good to go. The third thing is choosing your guests or your family members, right? Your family better than I, whatever. Start reaching out to your family. Let them know what you're going to do, what this podcast is about. And even if there's other guests, like say you want to bring somebody in like a special guest, you can do that too. So just let them know that on that particular topic, you're going to want them to, share their expertise. But really when it's family, make it easy breezy. Just, let everybody know what the topics, list out the topics this week, next week, or, however you do. If you do weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly, especially if it's just for the family, you can have topics like that. Number 4, you simply record, and then you edit it. So once you've gathered all your equipment, you've got your family, your guests, it's time to start recording. Make sure that you're in a quiet space. Now, if this podcast is simply for the family, then you don't really have to worry about others listening in. So if there are dogs barking or kids crying or running around the background, it may add some nuance, some good, vibes to the family podcast. But if not, find a quiet space. Use a microphone, with a pop filter, the little spongy thing that goes over your mic, or a pair of baby socks. They work just as well. So to cut out some of the background noise, make sure the dishwasher's not running, the lawnmower is not going, the doors and the windows are not slamming, the cars are not screeching. So just want to have it quiet so everyone can hear what's going on and no one's saying, hey, what'd they say? What'd you say? So once you've once you've recorded your podcast, then you need to edit it. You can get, someone that understands editing, again, using free software like Audacity or Adobe Audition, I think is another one, and GarageBand to edit. If you need to edit anything, to cut, if somebody had a coughing fit, a sneezing fit, or any other kind of fit, and you want to cut it out of the audio, you can do it. But otherwise, leave it in there. And then after that, you publish it and then you promote it to your family, your friends, or if you're going to keep it private, just give the link to the family member. So once you've edited your podcast, you publish it, you can use a free podcast hosting service such as Anchor, like I said, or there's other podcast hosting services like Libsyn. I use Buzzsprout. There's Podbean. You're going to upload the podcast, that MP3, to make it available to your family or to the public. And if you want to do a visual podcast, you can upload that to YouTube as well. And then once your podcast is published, you just promote it, you share it with your family, you share the link with your family, or if you want to put it out there, right? It might be great. Like it might be a new family podcast that just goes wild. So you just start promoting it and sharing it. You can use social media, email, word of mouth. Let everybody know that you got a new podcast episode. So again, on this episode, of the Delaware Blogger Podcast, episode number 333, I wanted to talk about starting a family podcast because it's a great way to stay connected with your family. You can share stories with the world. It's just like I said, this is a month that I really miss my grandmom and I really miss my sister. And I think about, if I had, an opportunity to hear their voices again. Now, back in the day, I sound old, right? I did have VHS tapes, but they're so old. I don't even know where they are. And I don't even remember my sister's voice. And, that makes me sad sometimes. So with podcasting, this is the perfect medium. It's going to always be there. It'll be in the cloud, so start a family podcast. Stay connected with your family. Share these stories for those generations that's coming up behind you, behind your mom, behind your grandmom, your great grandmom, whatever. So these are just a few basics for starting a family podcast. There's more in-depth information out there. I'll share that with you. If you want, send an email to info@ablakeenterprises.com. And I will send you my checklist. You can also order a copy of the resource guide. Remember, I'm going to leave that link. So the book, the resource guide, has all the information that'll take you from soup to nuts. And again, I want to thank you for tuning in week after week, month after month, and year after year into the Delaware Blogger Podcast, because this is a weekly show that provides podcasting pointers and tips that will help you to start or grow your existing show. Again, I am Antoinette Blake, the social media diva, the podcast host. Hey, I also have that Out and About with Antoinette podcast where I interview some amazing people from in and around the state of Delaware doing positive things in their communities. And that's every Wednesday at 1. I'm on a little break right now, but I will be back. Thank you for listening. And if you found anything that I've said, if you want to share this, please share this episode with your family, your friends, your bae, and your boo too. And leave a review and a rating too. And check out a few other episodes too. Subscribe to the blog, delblogger.com, because I repurpose the content with the show notes and the links and all of that. If you want to know more about blogging or podcasting, you know what you got to do. Send an email to info@ablakeenterprises.com. Wishing you and yours a beautifully blessed day. Bye-bye.